Okay, and we are live. Welcome everyone to the Sunday call, usually at 6 p.m. UTC. This is the weekly BaconDAO Community Call, hosted by myself, but also involving the other head contributors in different trends in crypto. And today we'll have Mahi, Luke, and Viper as usual. So today we'll start off with Mahi. And to cover some of the Polkadot / Kusama ecosystem narratives, trends, and things that are happening and where the opportunities are. And as usual, so the usual schedule is we have Mahi, Luke, and Viper. They'll present their own kind of picks and narratives for this week. And then myself, I'll present some stuff that I'm currently looking at, very similar to the daily streams I do. And then we'll do a lot of Q&A. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So Mahi, take it away. What do you have looking for this week? And I'll share screen while you present.
Perfect. So I've quite a bit of news today, actually. First of all, in an absolutely crazy turn of events, Altair won the 9th Kusama Parachain slot auction. I'll put a link in events chat just for reference. I'll get to that later. But as I explained last week, Parallel Finance entered the 9th auction. You can click the link in events chat. It has a pretty good graph
Okay.
I was going to talk about.
Okay.
So yeah, Parallel entered the 9th auction as a confident favorite to win with about 20,000 more KSM raised than Altair. But evidently, they took a more passive stance to bidding. And for the first couple of days, as you can see on that chart, most of their bids were below that of Altair. Which
Altair is in green here, and
Altair's
then
in green, Parallel's in
yeah.
blue, and then
Okay.
Kintsugi's purple.
Yeah.
So, but the problem with that strategy is that completely disregards the candlestick auction format, where the mechanism randomly picks a block, so it's not always the team with the most
At the
KSM.
time.
Yep,
Right.
KSM raise. But like as we can see in the Kilt example, the Calamari example, and the
Yeah.
Basilisk example, they completely outbid their competition the whole time. And Parallel had the funds to do that, but for whatever reason, they just
They
didn't
decided to go in
place.
like last second.
Yeah, they just didn't place any bids in the first 3 days at all. So they thought their strategy would work because usually the block picks in like most of the examples, the block picks one after when they place their big bid, but the mechanism randomly selected to pick a block right before they place their big bid, and in a result that shocked all watching, Altair won the 9th auction. So now you can see that with the two remaining projects, Parallel and Kintsugi, Parallel maintains a slight lead over Kintsugi, about 3,000 KSM, but
Yeah.
Kusama basically announced that that won't matter at all. So motion 362 on Kusama from this week almost unanimously passed to schedule an 11th parachain slot auction to begin after the conclusion of the 10th auction. The
Okay.
basis for this change is clear both for Kintsugi, because both Kintsugi and Parallel are well-developed and funded projects. They're unique from each other and the existing 9 parachains, so only allowing like one of them to join Kusama benefits literally nobody, and there's no reason not to allow both of them to earn a spot when they both raised over 200,000 KSM.
Mhm.
That's a lot. And I think the Kusama Council realized no matter how the 10th auction ends, one community is not going to be happy, whether it be Kintsugi or Parallel. Additionally, there is no third competitor. Basically, the third place in the PLO race is Polkasmith, representing Polka Foundry. But they have a mere 13% of what second place has. They have like 26,000, and
Yeah.
second place has 200,000. So there's really not, with that, I'd say there really is no demand for a 12th auction. It seems like the community got everything they wanted with now that we have 11 teams, we got like everything we wanted with these projects, and literally no one wants a 12.
More, right? Yeah.
So
Not
that's
not not enough. Clearly, yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's like
Yeah.
basically another reason to move on to Polkadot, but yeah.
Mm.
Said it is also worth speculating on that because they're allowing all of the serious and real competitors of Kusama Parachain, we might see a shift to Polkadot auctions following the 11th. So also in a different, so one last closing thought about that. I think Parallel will clearly win this one because Kintsugi reached their 200,000 cap, so that's why they'll never.
Okay.
They're stuck at 200,000 now, but Parallel they have a cap at 400,000. And also something I found, I was looking at some of the contributions for the Parallel crowd loan. They're mostly self-funded. Like almost 70% of their KSM raised came from 6 different wallets. So their community is like, it's not quite that of Kintsugi, but they did well for themselves in self-funding, and they will most likely win this ongoing auction that ends in 2 days, 14 hours.
Yeah.
So next, I have put this link in events chat too. This is
What's this? Ooh.
oh wait, yeah. It's from another great article from Gavin Wood. He posted part 3 of the XCM series exploring the intricacies of Polkadot's cross-chain messaging protocol. This issue is primarily focused on the execution and greater systems of the XCM protocol. Another great read from Dr. Wood. Again, shows how innovative and unique Polkadot is. This is probably not going to be interesting to everyone, but if you want to dive into the nitty-gritty Polkadot design decisions, it's very interesting.
Okay.
I'm actually very fascinated by XCM cross-chain messaging, the protocol. I actually got in touch with Gavin Wood himself about doing a research project on this. So very, very interesting. And if anyone wants to know more about it, just let me know. Also, different subject, the HMRP, the horizontal routed message passing channel on Kusama, the first one that is, has been created between Karura and Bifrost. HRMP, which is horizontal relay routed message passing, is a stopgap that predates XCMP. Semantically, it mimics the XCMP interface, but the crucial difference is XCMP with XCMP is that all the messages are stored in relay chain storage. That HRMP will be expected to retire as soon as XCMP is available on Polkadot. This is just
It's called HMRP.
HRMP.
HRMP. Okay, I spelled it wrong.
So this is just like a unidirectional channel from Parachain 201 or 2001, which is Bifrost, to 2000, which is Karura, and it'll allow Bifrost parachains to send XCM messages, cross-chain messages, to Karura. But in order to send cross-chain messages from Karura to Bifrost the other way, another HRMP channel is required.
Okay.
So, again, this was like the final thing that kind of needed testing in the auctions was the testing of XCMP, how it actually worked, because this, like I said, this is the first channel to actually be developed, and it's just fitting that Karura and Bifrost, probably the 2 most innovative projects, or the 2 to do it. Actually, maybe not the 2 most innovative, but great projects nonetheless. And I think the success of this test, it wasn't a huge event, like you didn't hear people talking about it, but behind the scenes, this was a big success that Kusama hosted the horizontal relay chain message passing lanes correctly, and it all worked. So, all of these things, all all signs point towards Polkadot auctions over the horizon. And one more sign that points to that is Binance actually integrated support for Polkadot slot auctions like this week. It's kind of hidden, but I don't actually use Binance, but you can find it. They joined Kraken, Huobi, KuCoin, and others. So basically, every exchange that's something except for Coinbase is now supporting Polkadot slot auctions. So great news again. It makes it very, very easy.
Nice.
Very, very easy for anyone to get involved. And obviously, Binance has a lot of users. Now they can basically how the solution works is Binance is giving them options to contribute to crowd loans using the Polkadot that they're staking through Binance. So it kind of opens up that liquid and they could use it to crowd loan. So it's kind of like the Bifrost SALP protocol that we've seen with previous crowd loans, but yeah, makes crowd loans more appealing to a lot of people and is yet another hint for Polkadot auctions. So that's basically all I have for this week. Stay tuned. I think there might be an announcement in 2 weeks. I was hoping for an announcement this week where they did add the 11th auction. So we'll see what happens in the weeks to come. Not sure if he's still here.
Have you been like keeping up with like oh, I think you're back, Dennis? Yep. We can't hear you.
Hello? Am I back? Hello?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, you're back.
Okay, good. All right, cool. Yeah, so I couldn't find the Binance news there. Let me try to find it.
There wasn't actually. I couldn't find an announcement either. I just saw. I saw someone tweet about it. That's literally it.
Okay, Binance. So they most likely will support it, right, when it actually goes live, because that's just like free staking and free traffic.
Yeah. So they just added an option. Obviously, there's nothing you can do with that option because there's no Polkadot slot auctions. But they basically just added a button in like the Polkadot interface of things you can do with it. They're probably gonna make an announcement.
This probably.
Yeah. They're gonna make an announcement probably when Polkadot slot auctions are announced. But this is basically them locking in their support along with Kraken, KuCoin, and others.
Dude, this is exciting.
It's very exciting.
Now that this is here, I don't think this will be like. No, it's not gonna be 2 months. Like, we should at least get some sort of announcement within a month. I think. Because these guys all know the day, right? That's very clear. So, KSM auctions are just finished, and what was the point that you want to say with how they cut it off at 11th? So that kind of means thoughts will be next. So you're saying that, it's like it shows like the kind of projects that they want to bring on as the first batch of parachains, right? Like if you have to have like actually a lot of support for them to open up those slots.
So I think they did this. They added an 11th because there's exactly 11 projects that are well funded and that the the Kusama community clearly wants, and they've shown that through great crowd loans. Like I think myself and the Kusama Council basically both think that like it would be very foolish to prevent either Kintsugi or Parallel from joining Kusama after they raised 200,000 and have proved that the whole community wants both of them, and then it also makes sense for them to cut it off and not add another 5 like they usually do, and only add 1, because there's no really winner for the third one. So it would just by default go to Polkasmith. But it I think they're establishing that you shouldn't be able to win a slot if you only raised 26,000 KSM. So that's also kind of setting a precedent for Polkadot auctions to come. They add auctions as they're in demand, and they'll probably add more KSM auctions later on, maybe after Polkadot auctions, when Genshiro, Sherpa X, Sakura, Polkasmith. These are all like big projects, but they all had pretty lousy crowd loans. So that will have to wait, and we'll see what happens with that. But I think for now, it makes so much more sense to go forward with Polkadot, and there's a lot of signs pointing to that. Like I said, successful testing, centralized exchanges supporting it, the Akala waitlist last week, and now this last KSM auction. So yeah, I think dot auctions will come in about 2 or 3 weeks.
It also kind of means that, so like they opened up a new slot, which probably means that there wasn't going to be another 5 right after, right? Otherwise they probably wouldn't bother. So yeah. It was supposed to be cut off at 10 because they expected 10 super legit projects in this batch, but then like there turned out to be 11. So okay, we weren't going to do another 5, but like we need this one in, so let's open 11th. But there probably isn't going to be next 5 anytime soon. But so probably makes more sense to be dot next.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of the Kusama Council. Like the council themselves can propose. I actually have a link for that too. The actual Polka assembly link. The council themselves can propose and add changes like this. So if you look at the link, it was almost unanimous. A lot of people were involved with this, and they had a whole reason with. They had a bunch of reasoning as to why us next an 11th auction is good. And that's not something most governance councils can do, but you see this is like a super well recruited, because they have nominators and the whole system of recruiting this council, and all these people have the network's best interest in mind, and it shows when they make changes like this. But because I was really happy to see this, because this is really good for the network, all the parachains involved, and definitely the community. It literally hurts nobody to add an 11th auction.
This is good to see that the council actually works so well in a decentralized way, instead of just like Parity or whoever is. Yeah, I can't even think of one party that's super, like that much power. Yeah. Okay, very cool. Yeah, I think this is great news to me, at least. Like, so now it's clearly even clearer than last week that dot is the thing to focus on. It's going to start very soon, and yeah. Anything else particularly interesting that you are looking at right now, Mahi?
Not really.
Okay.
I'm kind of focusing. I'm kind of focusing on the entire ecosystem rather than specific projects, because I think this is we're about to hit a turning point with all of this. But I know Luke and myself both have our eyes on Moon River. It's hard to miss. Hard to miss it. Also, Shiden Network's coming up. The EVM. I mean, they added support. Their smart contracts are live, and a bunch of projects are starting to migrate there. So, I mean, yeah, I like to keep up with that in Polka chat. So if there's anything really important with whether it be big integrations or projects teaming up within Polkadot, that might benefit, Moonriver, Shiden, where there's money to be made. You can expect to see it in Poke Gems or Poke Chat.
Awesome. Yeah, so just so that everyone know, that's the PokeChat in our Discord. We have a dedicated row and channel for everything Polkadot related. This is a good catch, actually. Yeah, this is really good. Yeah, so I think the plays are definitely clear. Like just right off the bat from that, Dot is gonna have a monster like Q4, pretty sure. But there are a lot more to get into aside from just Dot, right? Obviously, you have the crowd loans, but you have existing projects already on Moonriver and Swing Shiden. So yeah, I'm sure Luca will have even more like short-term plays on that. Yeah, so thank you, Mahi, for the coverage. I know you need to go, so yeah, just feel free to drop off. Or if you have anything else, you can also let us know. But otherwise, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna even be opening up with some Moonriver alpha.
All right, let's do it. Okay, let's move on to Luke's stuff. So
Okay, so how's it going, guys? I've been exploring Moonriver a lot, which is a Mahi could probably explain this a lot better than me. It's the first layer 1 smart contract on smart contract layer on Kusama on the relay. So this is going to be where a majority of their dApps are going to be built. There's going to be on Moonriver and Shiden. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, he already did that. So currently, like if you're going to be bullish on KSM, you should be bullish on Moonriver and Shiden. You have to be bullish on one of those, is kind of what I suspect, because they have to have smart contracts for Kusama to even have an ecosystem. So I've been exploring Moonriver here recently because I know that they had some stuff up, mainly just a DEX and whatnot. And yeah, so their two main DEXs is going to be Solar Beam. They're not going to be on. I can maybe drop some links real quick.
yeah, is there a good maybe Dot market cap? Is it on there? Do you know this site?
No.
This is kind of like a marker slash whatever, but like ecosystem specific. Projects tradable maybe. I can probably find it here. Solar Beam. Yeah, here we go. Solar Beam.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so 19 million market cap, 6 million volume. That's pretty good. $20.
Yeah. So what I don't like about Solar Beam is it's going to be a farming token, and at its current price point, with its 1 billion total supply, it's $20 billion fully diluted. So that kind of turns me off to solar, but also their emissions are pretty I don't have a calculator around me, but in 3 months from now, there's going to be 4.5 million tokens live. So what is that? That's close to like $100,000 or $100 million market cap, which I don't see Solar Beam successfully
Oh, that's pretty high rate.
surpassing.
600%. That's 17 million TVL.
Yeah, I personally have a hard time seeing the price of solar growing in the next couple months. The emissions just seem too high. Seem too high.
Yeah. Okay. The vault here is yeah, no good. Yeah, it's not like something like Frost type of super degen farm, but it's definitely on the higher end. So their tokenomics design is yeah, not like much, not very long term.
Yeah.
Like this kind of vault, right? When you see on Joel, right, for like based on the market cap of this should probably be like 30% instead of 600. So yeah, they're releasing too much.
Yeah, so the price of the token is probably going to drop, and that's kind of why I kind of advised if you are going to buy this token, then you essentially have to farm it if you want to make profits.
And probably the better farm is like if you can find a non-solar farm here, like USDC mover. Maybe.
Yeah,
that's DAI USDC, but this is only 30. USDC mover is probably reasonable here to farm.
Yeah, so you don't have to buy solar, but yeah, I wouldn't buy solar for the long play if you're going just looking at APRs, and if you're just planning to farm it. There should be a pretty big drawback, I suspect.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other DEX. Yeah, go ahead.
Moonswap? Or...
Yeah, the other DEX is Moonswap.
Okay.
Yeah, so Moonswap is a bit more attractive to me. They are hard capped. There's 100,000 tokens total supply. So I think that puts it around 15 million fully diluted.
What the fuck is this?
Those are the rugs.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's Moon River is a shitcoin paradise. Honestly, it's your funds aren't Safu.
Okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, so it's around $8 million market cap right now. They're still farming. Moonswap, Moonpad, Moonfarm, Moonlend. They're all really. They all have their own governance tokens. So, like, if you buy the DEX, or I guess Moonpad doesn't, but Moonfarm has its own. It's the farming token for the DEX, and like that's the token that.
So there's an M swap and an M, and then just Moon, which is
Moon. Farm. Yeah, so Moon, you farm Moon, and right now there also is Moon swap farming. I'm really sure, but there's going to be less emissions with the Moon swap token, and with Moon swap being. I mean, they have the IDO platform, they have the farms, they have the DEX, and now they're going to be releasing a lending protocol soon. So, I think Moon River is if we can draw analogies here, Moon River is going to be the Joe in my eyes, and Solar Beam reminds me a lot.
You mean Moonswap? Moonswap?
Moonswap is going to be the Joe. Of Moon River, and Solar Beam is going to be the Pangolin swap. It's just kind of how I see it. Like the Solar Beam is kind of, they have the TVL, but they're slow moving. So, anyways, that's what I see there with the DEXs. There are a couple other ones. OneSwap is competing kind of closely with, it's spelled with number one.
Okay, OneSwap.
Yep. OneSwap, I think, is the next top DEX in TVL. And then there's also Free River, which Free River is pretty weak on TVL, I think. But they do have some interesting stuff. Like they have a chart on the protocol and yeah, it's really just the charting.
This is what is this? Okay, so this is very bare minimum. Okay. What about Free River? Let's see. Solar Beam so far is the best UI, I'd say, right? It's very similar to Joel, but yeah, tokenomics is a big turnoff. This Free River is direct fork of like a quick, yeah, probably just skip because the lack of effort there to even like make your own UI brand. Yeah. Still very new, these projects.
Yeah. Yeah, they're stupid new. Yeah, we kind of got in at a really good time.
Okay, what would I buy out of these? I wouldn't buy Solar Beam. I would farm it, but like farm and dump right away. This Moon swap, this Moon farm token seems kind of.
I don't know what it does at all. Like it's just an emission.
Sounds token. Like they are trying to just like attract some farmers to dump.
Yeah, they don't have any utility or governance for it yet. I don't think so. I have no idea what their plans are for it.
What about the Moon Swap token? It doesn't say I can earn it here. So how do I? This is so weird. What's this locker? Maybe this doesn't even work. Oh, it works. Okay. Moon Crypt. Okay, so that's a liquidity lock. What's going on here? Moonpad is their ideal. Okay. So they have like different branding around it. That's at least something different.
To participate in the IDOs, you have to have 25 Moonswap LP tokens.
That's good. That's way better design than farm emission. And you know, I know you're super into this Saturn Beam, right?
Yeah. So Saturn Beam, I maybe wouldn't have called it out if I.
It's not even on this site. Oh my god, that's great. Oh.
Hold on, what was that?
It's not even on this market cap site. Like they don't.
It's really new. Let me put it in events chat for you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I jumped on this protocol when it was at $2 million locked, and now it's approaching $8 million locked. Okay. I told everybody I was farming the mover sat pool around 150,000 TVL, and now it's approaching 900,000 TVL. So it's still dispensing some pretty high rewards, around 4,500%.
So this is a compounder, right? That's what this.
Okay. So this takes
like the Saturn Beam project, right?
I'm sorry. Can you elaborate on what you mean there?
Like the Saturn Beam, so they're taking these farms from Moon Farm and OneSwap, and they're compounding, right? That's the platform.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
They're the only ones on here doing this right now. That's kind of why I was so interested in them. Yeah. They just launched their when I made the message in the low caps gems. They just launched their token, and they just launched farming, and there was a massive dump. And I think I highlighted the token around $8, and I think my average buy-ins are around like $10 or $9 or something. Okay. And now it's rallied to a little over $80 today. So this is because the token is a little illiquid, though. There's only 5% of the token vested right now, which I didn't know at the time. I thought it was closer to 9. Okay. So I think that puts the token. I think there's only 15,000. Again, I don't have a calculator. There's only 15,000 tokens, with $80 a pop. So I really need a calculator.
I'm really trying to find this thing. So there's this thing called River Tools, right? I'm guessing I can chart there.
Yes. I don't think it's live yet. Yeah. I do all my charting. I do all my charting on Free River.
Oh.
Yeah. This is really bare bones. This is really being an early mover on this.
Yeah, early mover.
You're pretty much building the dApps.
Okay, they only have a pitch deck. The charting tool is not even live yet. Okay. Maybe I can chart on here as well. What is it? Sat? It's probably not listed. Not listed.
I think there's only around 15,000 tokens vested right now. So around an $80 market cap, it puts it around $1.2 million circulating supply. I mean, circulating market cap. So yeah, we got in really early on this.
Yeah, we're actually super new still, super early.
Yeah, so the token's pretty much done 10x. If you guys looked in the low cap chat, there's a few panic sellers because the price of the token dumped because it's illiquid on dexes. So it dumped from almost $90 down to down to $55. It looks like.
Oh, no,
So
I don't know the token address. I'm gonna get rugged here. I have to check.
everything's all in low cap gems too, if anyone's interested.
Okay, so it's this contract. Okay, Saturn token SAT. Yeah, okay. All right. This has literally just been live like what the fuck, one day? What? Oh no,
Pretty
no,
much.
it's a little bit longer. It's 4 days, right?
Yeah, and I stumbled upon it, I think, right after launch.
Okay, so what are you playing this ecosystem right now? Is it let's see. So Mover, well, probably not Mover, but like I don't expect it to like dump too much, but it's risk of reward is kind of
Just
you
Mover
know,
specifically?
yeah, Mover coin itself. It's good, but
I have to look at their tokenomics a little bit. Because I think $300,000 market cap or $400,000 market cap is probably pretty cheap,
no,
but fully
300
diluted.
mil, right? You mean?
Yeah, 300 mil.
Yeah.
Fully diluted, I think it's closer to like 3 or 4 billion though. So it have to depend on the emissions at that point. But currently there's a lot of farming and there's a lot of action on there, and I know I want to be on Mover and Scheiden early. So yeah, we happen to do that on Mover, or Moon River.
Okay, so out of this list that we just looked at, I think I mean this isn't live, this is reward tools. We definitely want the top DEX play, in which case this is M swap, Moon swap. It's not like Solar Beam, like most likely not. Also looking at how with it, yeah, Saturn Beam, they were using Moon swap to farm, right?
Yeah, so
But,
Moonswap is partnering with Saturn Beam, and
yeah.
they're like partnering with them for a leverage protocol trading and like lending. So soon they're going to be doing lending. Like it's going to be next. Moon Lend is going to be the next protocol on the Moon ecosystem, and then they're going to add leverage trading on top of that. So I mean, just drawing comparisons to Solar Beam real quick, I think Moonswap looks to be the clear winner in innovation anyways. There is something to be said for having liquidity rewards and constantly vesting for higher liquidity for dexes, I think. But at the same time, I have no desire to buy Solar at its current price. So I definitely think Moonswap and Saturn are the plays for now.
Saturn is a little bit too degen for me, I would say, but
Yeah,
I would
it
farm
is
it if it's yeah, for whatever amount I'm farming, I'll probably use it to auto compound. Moonswap is okay. It's 5 million total supply, a capped supply. Current price $150, so 750 like max market cap. Current circulating supply is something like 600,000. No, 60,000. And this isn't actually updated, like their tokenomics. So I would love to see some sort of emission charts. That would be really good. Let me pitch that here. But yeah, it probably is. Wait, okay, so their pitch deck is on Moonpad. Okay. It's still pretty messy.
Yeah, I mean, this ecosystem is still a little messy. It's very early, and it's kind of really degen. So
yeah. Okay, so their liquidity, their TVL just started to take up, right? So it peaked at 40 million. Now it's at 16. Plus Solar Beam. Let's make sure that this is like sucking up the volume from Solar Beam. So just to be sure. Volume is kind of dying down here. At least over the past. Oh, that's okay. 2 weeks. So
yeah, I think it was kind of hyped a little bit here last week or
yeah.
so, and then it's kind of had a little bit of a pullback in usage.
Mm-hmm. Solar Beam UI is really good. That's for sure. Oh yeah, this is UI is good. Okay, so they have a ton of liquidity though. Solar Beam, volume are both kind of downtrending. Yeah. Okay, so this makes sense. So, Moonswap has only 60 million liquidity, but almost 4 million volume, whereas Solar Beam has 113 million liquidity, but only like 6.5 million volume. So not many people are trading on Solar Beam, but they're farming on Solar Beam, probably because of the high APY. So that makes sense. So the one that's actually getting adoption is most likely Moonswap. Yeah, looking at like volume is the really important one here. So volume peaked at September 9th, 30 million. Here, 8 million, 17 million. Okay.
I think if you just look at the emission schedule, it paints a pretty.
Do you have the
picture.
emission schedule of MSwap?
No, I don't. I only did Solar Beam. It's the only one I could easily find.
If we can find it somewhere, that would be. Yeah, so circulating supply is around 60,000. Moonswap, that's probably what this site is using. Yeah, that's about exactly right. What is the supply even? So on,
it's 100,000.
Yeah, it's 100,000, and then here it also says, oh, okay, this is the Moon token, not the MSwap token. Yeah, I got confused. Okay, so 100,000. It's already 60% distributed, right? So 100,000 times this, that's only 15 million. So that's really good. You can't. Yeah, that's okay. That's so like even if like super high inflation for next month, that's still fine. That's probably on similar levels as what Solar Beam is doing. Yeah. So okay. So they just need to make their UI a little bit better. I would say that's the only thing. But clearly, volume to TVL wise, they're winning. Tokenomics is better. Solar Beam is market cap 19 million. Yeah. Okay. So this is, in comparison, this is like overvalued. Yeah. So I'd buy Moonswap if I were buying. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. I just need to rant.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
Make sure
I think it's
figured out which.
I think it's good to go back and reiterate things. We move fast sometimes. So yeah, that's really it. All in Mover right now. I want to get early on Unilend and some of this other stuff, but that's in the coming weeks. And then like Shiden, I kind of want to be early there too. I expect a lot of the same plays that we're seeing in Mover to be translated onto Shiden. I think a lot of the same teams are moving over too.
Okay.
I might be wrong about that. But anyways, Shiden's going to be having their main net in a week or two. Definitely something I want to be involved with early on. I almost think Shiden is better than Moonriver. So yeah.
What's what makes you say that? Like
well, Moonriver is the first ones to I yeah, so Moonrivers are the first ones to like really deploy dApps and whatnot, but Shiden is more compatible with more like code, like they languages.
substrate stuff, right?
Yeah, so like they have like WebAssembly compatibility and EVM compatibility, and I think I'm spacing out on one more, but
Like
ultimately
Rust,
it's just
probably.
yeah, I think so, but it just seems more interoperable. It seems like it's going to be more of a hub than what Moonriver would be, because it is more interoperable with these layers. So I am really interested in exploring Shiden, but we got to follow the hype while it's around. We got to follow Moonriver's hype while it's around, and yeah, farm that.
So something I think actionable could be like when Shiden first comes out, right? Let's say they have a DEX just like Moonswap or Moonswap team goes on there. Their DEX might not only be Shiden specific EVM tokens, but maybe also something from Karura, something like that. Because Mahi said there's already a bridge from Shiden to Karura, right? Like one way at least. So they might have an advantage over Mover that way.
That's an interesting perspective. Yeah, I mean,
there's not even going to be like 3 plays on here. We just got to be early and ape. That's pretty much it.
So just being early, I think, is going to be our biggest benefit, definitely. This is something I want to keep on track of, and I know Mahi does too. So as soon as I start seeing the mainnet go live and the first few dApps actually deploy, I'll fill you guys in on what I think about it.
Yeah, like Shiden, maybe like when Shiden comes out and then the first farm on there, something like Saturn that can compound like Karura and the Mover tokens. That would be like super cool, right? Because that's not currently available on Mover, right? It's only the Mover native coin and then like all the other like technically ERC20s on there, but no other parachain stuff. So maybe whatever's on Shiden could do it. We'll see who comes out first. That could be big.
And then also something I wanted to highlight too is Moonriver has really slow transactions right now, like 45-second transactions. So if Shiden comes out and is more robust than Moonriver, then we might see it steal a lot of like users, just because I kind of thought Moonriver was kind of bust the first couple times I tried making a transaction because it took so long. So if Shiden is more robust and has faster transactions per second, then I could see it becoming the more dominant layer of the two sooner. But again, it depends on Moonriver and their upgrades coming out. And also another thing to note is Moonriver has the liquidity right now. So yeah, it's just something to watch out for with that robustness coming out of Shiden, I think. So those are the 2 plays there for Kusama. Yeah, the Kusama ecosystem. Moonriver and Shiden, I think, the 2 biggest ones, and then their ecosystems within them. Yeah, so another thing I want to highlight is perpetuals have been doing pretty well, but one that I'm really interested in, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Dennis, but I don't think there's too many perpetual platforms on Avalanche ecosystem.
There's what's it called? Mar, the one that's partnered with Pangolin. What's it called again? Starts with an M. M something.
Mongolin or something?
No, it's I think I can find it like right here. Margin swap, yeah, this one.
Margin swap. Okay.
I'm not sure if it's perpetuals or just like leveraged. No, it's not perpetuals. It's just a kind of built in with lend and borrowing for you to do free to do leverage into a DEX. I don't think there's any perpetuals.
Well, there's Hubble is a new perpetuals coming out on Avalanche.
Yeah.
I haven't vetted them super hard recently, but like I do know their tech, and they do seem to be pretty innovative for a perps protocol. Maybe like their innovations aren't too big. They have like changed up liquidations a little bit, and I kind of what I suspect what we're seeing is we're seeing Avalanche kind of ramp up its appeal to retail. So I think this and ramp up its appeal to retail and to TradeFi as much as possible. So I think Hubble is going to be a pretty good bet in the coming weeks because they're not live yet. But if my vision of Avalanche is to come to fruition, like I think Hubble is going to be one of the main perpetuals on Avalanche at least. And they are the only ones that I know of, so I think they have a strong chance of being the dominant perpetual on Avalanche.
All the narratives fit. It's Avalanche, it's perpetuals, perpetual DEX. Yeah.
That's kind of really
their site is pretty cool. Like, yeah.
Yeah, DeFi Brian was pretty big on them, and that's kind of what
I saw him post about it. I think, like, something.
Yeah, and I need to look into it a lot more, but this is definitely something that I was interested in when I started to assess it.
Okay, so they're still testing their contracts, like not. Okay, at least they're doing tests. So, there aren't even that many perpetual stuff. Yeah, so definitely super worth it to do. To get into once they launch.
Yeah, I don't know if they have whitelist open or whatnot, but they currently have
check it out. Like, probably be alpha testnaut, and then maybe it's some sort of, if you've been a tester, you can participate or something. Just gotta dig deep into all of these. Yeah, I'll try it out.
I can't wait for more perpetuals on DeFi personally. And then that's really it for the perpetuals that I've been watching. And then another thing I wanted to highlight today was Joe's kind of dumped here recently, and I think on the dollar amount.
Let me check. I've been meaning to pick up even more Joe like every day. So
yeah, so I think the dollar chart only paints so much of a picture. But if you bring it to Joe and to AVAX,
Joe AVAX,
Joe AVAX chart, it looks pretty primed. Joe AVAX 3-day chart, it looks pretty primed to take another leg up, I think, or to take a bounce.
And then Joe AVAX 3-day. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. 3 days kind of intraday. Maybe like if this is on 1 day or weekly, that'd be better. But maybe weekly is too much for this. Yeah, weekly is too much for this.
I kind of like looking at the 3-day. I think it.
Yeah, 3 days got a good candle base, but like not many people use 3-day closes. So I see what you mean, like right around there. But I think it's just like super good opportunity regardless. Like right now. Oh, okay. I see where that is. Yeah, so I would say that's more like maybe daily. Yeah, daily is the cleanest, I would say. Like around here, like this. This is what I would say current level is at. This, you see it? Like I'll make it thicker. You see, like this pump in August, and then we had a big drop, right? And then started to go sideways. Made a first bottom, right? Pumped, got rejected, fell back down, formed kind of a neckline, and then like did even more sort of this rounding, like double bottom, breakout, retest multiple times. Now like right around here. So yeah, so I wouldn't even look at it that like, you know, in depth, because like I think it's just cheap. Like it's really no brainer. Like, and keep in mind this is the Joe versus AVAX chart, not even dollar. So you're not going to find a better chart than this in any coins in the AVAX ecosystem.
Yeah, I think this paints the clearest picture of AVAX. I mean of Joe. I think it's pretty bottomed out here.
Mm-hmm. Like,
yeah,
look at this, like Yak, like all the other like supposed blue chips, like in AVAX against AVAX, it's just in downtrend, right? This Joe's literally the only one that's still doing good. Yeah.
So hopefully it continues.
Bullish, man. I'm bullish.
Yeah.
Like
I'm bullish on it too.
I've got like I think 150K worth in like beefy, like farming it, but I'll probably
nice.
Gotta do more. Yeah, dollar chart makes sense too. Like you know, the top of the pump, right around retest the top of the pump. So looks good.
That's
and gotta keep in mind, like, you know, like this is dollar chart, yeah, and like you know, 3AC mechanism, 3 Lao, those guys bought in like just below $2 ish, kind of. They did like an average price like in like this period, pretty much. So like somewhere here, maybe like $1.70 when they did like $5 million deal, like total, their last round of raise. So that's you know, that's like not that much from here. Yeah, so these guys aren't going to lose money. So yeah, we're pretty good at these levels.
Do you know why we dumped at all? Like, so it was to sell the news event, right? With like their liquidity remining rewards and like
no. So like listed? Okay, so how I like to look at dumps is just like news never actually like creates chart, right? It's like buyer, who are the buyers, the sellers. I think this is just wash, right? People are trying to accumulate, so like it's just market making most likely. Yeah, I don't see there being any sort of news. The incentives haven't even really kicked off much, right? The actual rush, the avalanche rush.
Well, I think the day that their incentives started, though, that there was a little bit of a dump.
Let's see, which day was it?
I do understand what you mean, though, where it's just kind of more psychology rather than
like
an actual event.
Trader enters avalanche rush with incentives. This is 3 days ago. Joe Rush is here. So they did a $20 million incentive program along with AVAX, 10 million in AVAX from Foundation and 10 million in Joe from Trader Joe. And they did this 3 days ago on September 30th. Joe Rush will start in mid-October. Yeah, it's not even there yet. Okay, and then so this is like just announcement. And this was September 30th. Yeah, so not really related. Okay. I think people are just rotating like different narratives and stuff. But yeah, this is like really just no brainer. I think it's just a psyops. Like people are buying more.
It's a psyops.
I really think so. Yeah. Like, I don't see it being a bad move. Like I just don't see it. Like it has to dump like below $1 for me to like really try to question this.
Yeah.
It's got all the like this is when this launches mid-October, right? The TVL is going to take up, and then I mean, these guys aren't lacking in volume, right? So they are already hugely dominating like volume wise, actual user wise. TVL is like not as high because they're pretty exhausted in like the kind of farms. But when let's say mid-October comes, not only will their own TVL go up, but other farms and even pangolin, etc., their TVLs will go up. So people will want to buy those tokens, but they'll buy it on Joe. So their volume will also go up. So it's like, and mid-October is like what, like 2 weeks to go. So this is like pretty much best time to get in. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like next 14 bars would look something like like that. Would not be surprised. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that's all I hope for.
Yeah, we'll see. So that's why, I think this psyops, like it makes perfect sense for them to try to suppress here. We'll see. I'll leave this right here, and then we'll come back to it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully it works out.
Yeah.
That's it for me, though. That's all the notes I have for today.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I think covered pretty much everything that's really alpha. I think super big alpha, like major trend that we need to be on for Q4 is just DOT, KSM, everything in there. Like just pick like the strongest projects, and you'll have a really good time. Yeah. So I still don't have any. I need to probably get some Moonswap, try to farm it, and then start to build my position in DOT. It's still not giving me like an entry. Yeah, so I ideally wait a little bit more short term, but like this is like top of my watch list.
Yeah, I personally I want to increase my exposure because I held like $1,000 in DOT or something, so that's what I'm going to be doing, and then I'm going to also wait for a nice entry. But I really think this is going to start picking up pretty quick.
Yeah, this is like super cheap. Like DOT $100 end of year. I think that's pretty much programmed.
One of the reasons why I'm really bullish on the interoperability and like the omnichain narrative was because of the parachain auctions, and like that narrative slowly starting to build up. So yeah.
How do you see like let's just take a very like a practical example, right? Shiden's launching their mainnet very soon, and then there are already a couple DEXs and compounders on Mover. How do you see like the project moving over their interoperability? Is it going to be a bridge, and then the token will be on both, and then like supply on both, or how do you see it? New projects?
I think it depends on how efficient Kusama is, right? Because why would there need to be a bridge if you could just relay liquidity through Kusama, right? Am I wrong?
Okay, but where do you? Okay, yeah, I see what you mean, but that's
Like,
not really interoperable.
I don't think,
right? Like,
yeah, I don't think I answered your question that well.
Yeah, no, I meant like, okay, so you have dApps, and the network itself is supposed to be able to, let's say Mover handles a lot of the wrapping of the, let's say, Moonswap token, so that it can be moved to a DEX on Shiden if people want to, and vice versa, the other way around. But in terms of dApps, like let's say we get into Moonswap right now, is that necessarily going to also launch on Shiden, or will there be another team on Shiden? Because if there are 10 parachains and they're all EVM compatible, or maybe there's only 3 right now, Karura, Moonriver, Shiden, right? But then you have like Moonbeam, like Akala, and Astar. So there's 6 in, let's say, 3 months' time. What's the ecosystems going to be like? Is it going to be 6 times 2 DEXs 12 dex tokens that we need to get in? Like, what's the ecosystem going to be like?
Yeah, I do think it's going to be that.
Really?
It,
Oh my God.
yeah, one of the main reasons I think too is if we just talk about dexes and like Moonswap, for example,
Yeah.
Moonswap barely has enough incentives for their own like dex to fight off, Solar Beam and whatnot. So like there has to be a token for incentives, I think. So for farming and whatnot. So for these dexes to really draw in TVL, I think they're going to have their own token and then release, use it for farming and whatnot.
So like Mover has to come out with incentive as well, right? River Rush, and then it'll take up. But that'll probably come after DOT auctions. So like
Yeah,
it's Moon
so
Rush.
yeah, so like the incentives for the DOT ecosystem are really a few months out still. This is Moon River reminds me a lot of Avalanche, like in February. Like there's the few dexes, there's a couple things to do, but if you think that it's like anything like Ethereum or these other built-up protocols, then you're drastically mistaken. Yeah, so I think when we see like DOT start to release their dApps and whatnot, like I think we're just going to see a lot of the same. I don't. I don't think we're going to see a lot of the Moon River teams move over to Shiden. I know I said that, but I don't think we're going to see that. But we're going to see a lot of the Moon River teams move over to Moonbeam, and then
Yeah. So even that, like, how do you envision that to be? Like, it's a Moonswap on the token itself on both chains, Moonriver and Moonbeam.
it could be like I don't see why not, but at the same time, I don't see why that's why you would do that other than like lending, for example.
Well, then, like, because if we know and we kind of can expect this to be the major trend, then we can. That means if we get into Moonswap right now, whatever they launch on Moonbeam, we're already in. It's the same
Yeah,
token.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is a really good point. Yeah, so if that is going to be the case, then like I should be moving more liquidity over to Moon River and Shiden is how I feel.
Yeah, so I'm really not sure what projects would do, because like I know this guy from he's super into Kusama, and he said that he's actually more bullish on projects launching on Kusama because he treats it as like seed rounds before they launch on Polkadot. So not only parachain projects but also dApps on Canary chains. Only the strongest ones will end up moving to, like, only the strongest ones on Mover will move to Moonbeam, kind of. And he
Yeah.
speculates that it will be the same project and same tokens.
Nice. That I don't
That's what
see
he
that.
said, and I was like, okay, I never thought of it this way. I just thought, okay, it's shittier tokens, but maybe it's a playing ground, and it'll just like only the winners move over.
Maybe if you have a X amount of tokens of their governance tokens on Moon River, you might be able to get an allocation on Moonbeam. But I think my theory, like for the dexes, for example, and pretty much anything that needs liquidity, like there has to be farming incentives, right? So like there has to be tokens for it or something to earn.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just kind of how I see it. I think there's going to be some sort of I don't think they're going to use the same tokens. Like I think that's.
I hope they do, but I don't know either. That was the
I hope
first
they do
person
too.
that I heard say that. I was like, huh, that's very interesting.
If they do, I'm probably going to retire by like this time next year, by off how much SAT I farmed.
Well, maybe
It's
SAT
crazy.
is one of the shittier projects, right? That don't move over.
Oh yeah, FUD my bags, Dennis.
like maybe like, okay, we see all these like one swap, Free River, and then Mover, Solar Beam, right? Maybe only the strongest one, like it being Moonswap, they end up moving to Moonbeam, and the rest just kind of forever stay on Moon River.
Yeah, I mean that's feasible too. But how I see Kusama, I think Kusama is really undervalued, especially just comparing it at face value with Polkadot, like I think we're going to see. Honestly, like I'm surprised that Kusama is a $4 billion market cap compared to KSM's 30 billion. Like I think KSM should be closer to at least 10. I know that they don't have an ecosystem coming up, but if we just kind of, if we look at,
I think they just want to keep it that way. I think it's whoever's investing and making the markets, they want to keep this. Yeah, because it's the same people, right? So they don't want a same technology design like project network that they also launched and pretty much validate and control all the tech to be similar in size, because then like, okay, people will be confused. They want instead it to be some smaller size and then like more the like experimental projects. So they have two playing grounds, like kind of Binance official and Binance innovation zone, sort of like you don't want to.
Yeah, so I think that is a pretty good point, like the innovation zone. But how I view it as like, I view it as Polkadot is the settlement chain and KSM is the degen chain. So if you like being, getting high return on investment, you like being early on, being novel new protocols and whatnot, then you have to be on KSM. Like you're not going to get any of that on DOT. So I think just in the long run, like as we see kind of DeFi start to take like more innovative steps, which we have seen doing, like I think we're going to see a lot more of that on Moonriver first and KSM. KSM first.
Yeah.
And so that's going to cause a lot of the influx. Is just this innovation within the ecosystem that DOT cannot harbor for a few months before. DOT will not harbor those innovations for a few months after KSM does. So that's just kind of how I see it.
That fits what we just talked about, right? Because basically then, okay, so let's say 10 slots are live on DOT, and then DOT has this kind of, and then at the same time, the interoperability across the ecosystem gets better. There are a couple, mainstream DEXs and farming protocols that are across the ecosystem, and tokens can move around. So then DOT themselves and those major projects will probably be very selective as to which DeFi protocols. Let's say if there's a farm on KSM, the main aggregators on DOT will be very picky as to who they pick. Same as a major DEX. So then it could become very bullish events where, let's say we're getting in first, like DeFi degen plays on Shiden, DeFi degen plays on Moonriver. Only the real winners actually get picked to go on Polkadot later, and when they get announced to go on, their market cap shoots up, because then like every DeFi on the DOT is supposed blue chip and like 1 billion plus. That could happen.
So like if let's just take Moonswap for example. Like if they're $100 million market cap when they move over, like that's you're not going to get the same return on investment if you're to be an early mover on the DOT Moonswap protocol rather than the same return on investment as the KSM version. It's just because the people already know what the top protocols are. They already know, DOT is this big. It's going to get bigger if it's on this. So the return on investment, I think, is what is we're not going to see with DOT. And I think that's going to be the success of Kusama.
I think they would play. No, I agree with what you said. But I think they even, assuming like DOT and KSM are the same team, right? So the way they would play that is probably, okay, people getting into projects on KSM will get early. And then if you are able to pick the strong projects that are winners, then once they move on to DOT, they will really get much more support and like major exchange listings, wherever DOT has partnered, the major DeFi integrations, incentives. So if we think of it this way, then the graduation of these DeFi's into blue chips will probably not happen on KSM alone. It'll probably be also on like once they move on to DOT, is what I think. So
Yeah.
for this, I think maybe KSM, the chain itself in terms of valuation will probably stay similar in parity to DOT. I think both of them are undervalued. That's probably what it is. Yeah, I don't think KSM should be same as DOT. Maybe I think 1/10 market cap is probably a little bit low, but
Yeah, I think it should be closer to a third, personally. Or
that's
yeah,
that's
a
that's
fifth or so.
fair expectation. But yeah, I think you at least very short term, like it plays like these two coins comparatively probably going to be on DOT because of the crowd loans. But yeah, we should aim to ape on KSM while holding like safe assets, probably DOT. Ape the new DeFi plays on KSM. Try to identify winners before like they get very integrated into DOT. That's definitely, I agree with you there. That's the play. So let's keep aping on stuff on Mover and then Shiden, and then I think Moonswap is pretty interesting here. At least from the list here, like the other ones are comparatively worse. So we'll see. Next week we can reconvene and see what's live on Shiden, and then we'll keep monitoring them at the same time, monitoring the DOT crowd loans, and then if there's any news of these projects potentially moving over.
Yeah, I pretty much want to watch all these all these protocols go live on Shiden and Moonriver and be involved with them as early as I can.
Yeah,
I think these are kind of sort of high conviction plays in an ecosystem. So maybe I'm not talking about SAT specifically or Solar or Moonswap, but just the ecosystem I have pretty high conviction on. So I'm willing to throw liquidity and farm some of these tokens. It's exciting times. It's Pumptober, everyone.
It's exciting. Dot Q4. Yeah, we're going to be talking about this a lot more for the next 3 months, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just the tip of the iceberg for the most part.
Yeah, pretty easy money, I think. Yeah, there's going to be much more. Just like money coming in. Just how we play it. Oh, man. Okay. All right.
I saw Viper was around a little while ago, but I'm not sure
if
he still is.
Okay, he's not around anymore. No worries. Yeah, we'll talk with him after. We kind of dragged this on too much.
Okay, yeah,
I didn't notice he joined.
Yeah. Something else that Lions wanted me to highlight is the bounties.
Oh, the quests?
Live. Yeah, the quests.
Yeah, so we have the first quest that's live. Actually, coincidentally, in the Polkadot ecosystem. So we're partnering with Polkadot's PolkaSwap Community Collective to do our first quest. And this is myself, Lions, and Mahalineer and Viper, not Viper, Mahi. We're kind of working on this together. So PolkaSwap is one of the leading dexes that's like substrate native dex instead of just EVM dex. That's been building for a while, even before crowdloan started. And so they support like a lot of native swaps. Right now, it's mostly ERC20 tokens bridge on there, but their goal is to support like kind of KSM, DOT, and Mover, and all the coins on Mover, Shiden, all the coins are on Shiden, everything. So as you guys know, it's like very difficult to get into this ecosystem. So this is kind of what we try to accomplish here. So we'll have the quest itself is teaching you to set up a Sora account, so a Polkadot.js account, trying to bridge, trying the DEX, trying to provide liquidity, see what you can do on there so you get into the Polkadot ecosystem. And in turn, you can submit a form and you'll earn Bacon tokens and PSwap tokens. So courtesy of PSwap, the project, they really want to bring adoption to the Polkadot ecosystem as well as it's starting to heat up. So check this out. I will also be making a TikTok video today on this. Yeah, and just go on BaconDAO.com/quests and you'll see this. We'll probably have more partnered projects in this regard to let you guys get into new like DeFi ecosystems that really is alpha, and also earn tokens. Yeah, so check it out. I'm not sure if Lance is here in the. Okay, he is here. Cool. Yeah, so that's the shout for that. I will. Oh, I see we're stream broke in Discord. No worries there. So check that out. This is kind of one of the initiatives that we're doing a lot more of at BaconDAO is to really highlight these new ecosystems. Right now, there's definitely a big hurdle in onboarding to Polkadot/Kusama. You have to set up a separate wallet. Like Polkadot.js is the most popular. And then it's like not very similar to MetaMask. So this is why you're seeing like Mover being adopted very quickly, because people are used to making a new network in MetaMask, but there's much more to do in the native Polkadot ecosystem. So yeah, we'll help with onboarding in this regard. So okay, that's about it. I don't think we have too much time for questions. Let me just see if there's any really good questions on Discord, etc. Hassan says Bitcoin dominance. Let's take a look at that really quick here. Okay, so very interesting. Yeah, so again, this head and shoulders here, inverse head and shoulders, kind of getting invalidated right here. So, you know, even though we were calling for this, right, I said specifically I was not going to sell any altcoins. In fact, I was just going to keep buying, right, if Bitcoin dominance gets any higher, because clearly long-term downtrend in Bitcoin dominance, long-term alt season. So I'm not going to sell any altcoins. Any of these dips here is just continue buying the dips for altcoins. And really glad to see that even this breakout here got invalidated. So that's actually really good. So probably even I would be more bullish on altcoins right here. Usually failed setups give even better rewards on the other way. So probably expecting this entire pattern here to break down much further. For us to come down to probably 40% here for Bitcoin dominance. Yeah, overall, I don't think there's much to say or watch for on Bitcoin dominance. This entire sideways kind of is just a huge buying opportunity. That's what I've been reiterating for the past 3 weeks now. I've been buying like tons of altcoins, you know, Synapse, Joel, Spell, Dot ecosystem. Now we're going Mover ecosystem, like RMRK. It's just like just all kinds of altcoins. It's like super good opportunities right now. It's like don't overthink this. Obviously, like if it gets like super high, like above here, like we can reconsider. But definitely don't overthink this. Like I look at this just for the sake of looking at it and knowing what's going on, but buy dips, man. Like buy dips on altcoins. That's very, very clear move right now. So so many opportunities in altcoins right now. Almost identical for so that right there that you have drawn, CTM. So typically, let me just bring up your chart, right? So you don't want to draw a flat top because that technically is a reversal pattern. But in this case, I would say you shouldn't fit that to discount for the peak here. A rising wedge here is a more valid pattern, right? If you discount like all three of the wicks, right? Rising wedge here is a continuation pattern down. If you have a flat top, that's actually a reversal pattern. But yeah, I agree. This is definitely not a reversal pattern. As you can see, it played out this way. If you really want to look at it very short term, for this, right? Yes, similar pattern, right? Rising wedge, right, like that. So breakdown below trend line would be really bullish for altcoins because it is downside for altcoin, Bitcoin dominance. But don't mistake like all of the wedges and triangles as continuation. Some are reversal. So for instance, I'm probably find you a really good list, but when you have a downtrend, right? If you have a something like this, where it's a flat top and rising bottom, this is the reversal pattern. But if you have a like this, either a parallel wedge or a converging wedge down, both of these are continuation, right? So you don't want to see this resistance as flat. That's the only case that it's a reversal. Also, if you see flat, flat, this would really need a breakout, right? So this is kind of bidirectional. Breakout this way, right? Retest this way, breakout this way, right? You would expect the other way. And then lastly, a pattern like this, falling, this is reversal, right? Because typically with these three lows, you would have RSI or MACD as like a, like this, like a divergence. So usually that's a reversal. So make sure you get the patterns right. Like this one here was not a flat top, right? Because of this here. And also you're taking like wick here versus candles here. So I have always drawn this as a rising wedge. So that's a continuation. So this one here also, right? That's why it was a little worrying, right? Because before we had this past week's performance, this was a flat top. So a flat top could be a short-term reversal. So that's why I was watching this very closely. But now that this broken out but faked out, now we can draw it very clearly as a rising wedge, like you pointed out. So, right, rising top, rising bottom. So this is a much clearer reverse continuation pattern. Yeah, so good spotting there. But yeah, this is another way that you can look at it. Now that especially this neckline has been broken out but invalidated, so very clearly, yeah, continuation pattern down. And especially if we get some sort of a large move and retest, like right here will be a super good opportunity to enter altcoins, very similar to right here, right? The first retest back up, right? So watching for that, but I wouldn't even wait for that. Like I'm actively accumulating altcoins. I have like so many altcoin positions I want to get into and increase. So yeah, that's Bitcoin dominance. It has not changed any of our outlook, right? Like even with this short-term reversal, I was saying like this is just going to be by the dip, like keep buying altcoins and yeah. So we had on Twitter a while ago. Yeah, so before before this formed, right? You have to watch for the flat top, right? If the flat top, their breakout retest and bounces, then this is a reversal, right? This would be a flat top kind of, I forgot what you call it. It's a triangle, it's not a wedge. But if it becomes a fake out, then this becomes a wedge, right? So the rising wedge becomes continuation pattern. Same as bottom here, right? When you had a flat top, it was really key to watch if the breakout retest gets bounces. But now that this has been invalidated, you don't treat it as the previous pattern anymore. Now you treat it as a rising wedge, which is much more clearly downside. yeah, so that's looking at the charts you have there, CTM. Actually, these two are very identical, but the end result is also identical now that both flat tops turned into rising wedges. So further cements our view of Bitcoin dominance heading down, alt season continuing. Yeah, just continue buying altcoins. It's doesn't get much better than that. Okay, I think that's about it. It's been an hour, 30 minutes, so we'll probably call it a day there. Not much time to do Q&A, but I'll definitely go live again tomorrow, same time, 12 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. UTC. So tomorrow's only going to be myself going over the market, some altcoin picks of my own, sort of the layer one networks, Bitcoin, Ethereum analysis, Bitcoin dominance analysis, DeFi plays like Joel, Synapse, Spell, Mover ecosystem. Those are the ones to watch, and then we'll do a lot of Q&As tomorrow. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining. That's it. Thank you, Mahi and Luke, for presenting today. Super insightful. I think I have a much better view of the DOT KSM ecosystem now. Yeah, we'll be aping some more mover coins, and I'll walk you guys through it tomorrow. So see you then, 7 p.m. UTC, and bye for now.